Hey folks, welcome to week 3. First, some good news. I'm going to slow things down just a little bit. Specifically, I'm not going to ask you to do any of the reading in Fishing for Fools. I had originally planned to push you guys forward on that, although I think we already have enough on our plates right now, and so we'll work with what we have on our plates, and then I'll bring the reading back in a week or so. Okay. Now, I want to talk about a few things quickly so that you have an understanding of where we are. Really, we're now getting started on the first assignment. And so in order to understand the first assignment and in order to be successful on the first assignment, I think it's really important to think about a couple of things. First, I'm going to ask everyone to make sure that you take a look at the comments that I've put on your writing journals. Last week, I'd really asked you guys to think about the logic and the rhetoric of the example op-eds that you had decided to read, and I put a lot of specific comments on there to make sure that you guys are actually analyzing from a logical perspective and that you're analyzing from a rhetorical perspective. And I'm asking you to go back and to take a look at those comments because as we move forward in this first project, thinking logically and thinking rhetorically are going to be really, really, really important. Secondly, I want to talk very briefly about the book. I like what some people have said about the book, and a lot of you did a good job really pinpointing the central premise of the book. And so I commented on that as well. I do want people to understand that this is not an economics class, and I'm not asking you guys to only think economically. I think the easiest way of thinking about it is to understand that a lot of people will define economics as the study of decision making. And that's the key for us. It's all about decision making. There's the link between the sorts of ideas that are going to come up in the book and what we're doing in an English 202 critical thinking course. Obviously, this course has to do with argument and persuasion. And when we connect that to decision making, we see, right, that there's a real relationship between all of these things. And so I just wanted to kind of get that on the floor because I don't want people to be scared about having to read about all of this economic theory. For us, the emphasis isn't on economic theory, and we're not going to take a look at the financial markets, right? The emphasis is on better understanding how people make decisions and understanding that really people might make rational decisions at some times, but they also make a lot of irrational decisions that aren't necessarily in their best self-interest. Finally, I want to introduce major assignment number 1. This week, you guys are going to go ahead and get started on drafting that first assignment. And major assignment number 1 actually has 2 parts. The first part we're going to work on for the next couple weeks, and then the second part we're going to do just after that. The first part consists of you guys building an argument. That is, I'm asking you guys to all write op-eds on a cultural narrative of your choice. Please take a look at the prompt. I've put a ton of details in there. I've also given you a lecture on what I'm looking for in the op-ed. And so there are a lot of materials you can take a look at this week that'll help you. There is a little bit of heavy lifting as you're going to start drafting. The second part has to do with writing a rhetorical analysis. So that's why I've put all of that emphasis on being able to read the op-eds, look at them logically, and look at them rhetorically. Now, when you guys get going this week and you start drafting your op-ed, I want you guys to think not that you're writing this academic essay, but instead that you're writing a piece for the school paper, right? And so you now have a real audience. You're thinking about MiraCosta students. You're thinking about your fellow students. You're thinking about the instructors and the administrators and what it's like living in North County. And so that's going to become important as you guys craft this piece, right? Of course, you're going to have to build a logical argument, but you're also going to have to think rhetorically about how you can best persuade this specific audience. So I hope that that gives you some clear guidelines about what I'm looking for in the op-ed, and I hope everybody feels comfortable. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Take good care, and I look forward to what you guys start producing. Bye.